Gabriela Sabatini. She had to win the point 3 times. Sabatini retrieving so well, angling her off the court, counterattacking, and finally Chris is able to finish it off, but it took a Herculean effort.
12,500 people capacity crowd here watching the final of the women's singles of the Lipton. Evert hanging on for dear life. 15-love, 2-4, second set.
Again, another shot, another nice solid drive that just missed its mark.
$100,000 to the winner of this match today. The two of them have already made $60,000.
Both of them wide to Sabatini's forehand. Both the deuce and the ad courts caught her off guard.
Game point. Evert holds on for the third time this set, but she's still a serve break behind and 1 set down. Coverage of today's tennis is being brought to you by Lipton Cup of Soup. It's America's favorite. And by Michelob. One taste will tell you why the night belongs to Michelob. Live coverage of the final of the women's singles of the Lipton Players Championship. And Chris Evert is in trouble. 4-3 and 1 set to love Sabatini.
Tournament directors are able to sell tickets using the story that this could be the last time Chris Evert plays in their particular city. And of course that story is around that this could be Chris's last appearance in her home state. What do you think about that?
I think it's entirely likely. You can never bet on it because it's a year-to-year thing, but I think it's very, very possible and it's very likely. She won't make up her mind until after the U.S. Open what her plans for next year will be or whether she would retire, so we won't really know until then.
My feeling with Evert at this point is that any good win or any encouraging match, like the one she had against Groff, that'll keep her in the game another half a year.
See, I think she's going to stay in for just as long as she plays well and as competitive as she is. She's going to do what Jimmy Connors did. Say, hey, as long as I'm doing well, enjoying it, I'm going to keep playing. Why not? Don't retire me too early. I think you'll see her back. 40 love, Sabatini. Game point for a 5-3 lead in the second set.
This is as well as I've seen Sabatini play in '89. She surely didn't have this form at the Australian Open.
It was Steffi Graf who beat Sabatini at the Australian Open in the semi-finals, of course, and
killed her.
And Sukova was Steffi Graf's victim in the final. Sukova got to the semi-final here, beaten by Sabatini. But a close match. Game point.
Mary, I would agree with you, though. I think it's definitely the best Sabatini has played since she won the Virginia Swims Championships last November without the loss of a set. Far and away her best tennis since then.
Two points in a row for Chris, but it's still game point. She played the semi-final, as we said, lost to Steffi Graf in the Pan Pacific. Mary Jo Fernandez beat her. Mary Jo's from this area also. Mary Jo was the one who beat her here last year.
The best approach shot of the match from Evert as she steered that one down the line forcefully, but with great control. Again, Sabatini had saved herself several times within the point. Great counterattacking, great ball control. But after Sabatini led 40-love, back to deuce.
You know, Steve, as Sabatini buys herself a little bit of time because she's winded after that long rally, she had a crack at that last shot. That's how well she's seeing the ball and moving to it.
Tremendous performance.
Deuce. Oh, what a chance. Ball was very easy for Chris to do something effective with. She made an unforced error, and Sabatini has another game point to put her ahead 5-3. What's the wind like down there now, Steve? It looks like it really has calmed down.
It has. It's rather moderate, Cliff. I don't think it's played a very small factor in this match, surprisingly so.
Game point.
Is Andy milling around?
Now, suddenly the wind did pick up in that last point, and when Chris hit the short forehand down the line without much pace, it was very hard for Sabatini to field it. She couldn't control her slice backhand.
Gusty wind is a worse kind in which to play.
Deuce. I don't care who you are when it comes down to the ultimate stages of a match like this, you get tight. Sabatini hasn't been tight, but she's missing a few now. Well, you know, the wind was a factor in that exchange, one of the best points of the match.
Definitely a factor as Chris kept lobbing over Gabriela's backhand side. They weren't all that deep, but they were awkward to handle in that wind.
Sabatini has broken serve 4 times, as you see, Chris once, but here is another chance for her to get back even in the second set. The wind just took it away.
It did, Cliff. It just swirled away at the last instant. It was a good, well-hit serve, but there's no doubt that the wind grabbed it and took it away out of the reach of Evert. Look at the kick serve, bounce up And away. Chris stretched out on her two-hand side, cannot make the play.
She so seldom, as well as she prepares, looks like she is not in position. One of the few times you'll ever find her grabbing and groping for a ball, but it was because of the wind. It's deuce. Interesting, Mary, everything going Sabatini's way, and suddenly she's making a few errors.
Crunch time, I think Evert is playing this game well. And she's saying to Sabatini, let's see you win this. I'm centering my ball. I'm not going to overplay it. Let's see you take this from me.
They're giving her a standing ovation here at the International Tennis Center. Chris has broken back, even at 4 games apiece in the second set. First set to Sabatini.
This was the dream final these people wanted. And suddenly it's very competitive.
Number 1 seed Sabatini, number 2 seed Chris Evert.
Chris Evert has found her rhythm, and Sabatini has gone off the mark, beginning to miss it a few balls off both sides. But Chris has gotten increasingly conservative, hitting at a higher trajectory and waiting for her openings.
That's a remarkable career record, isn't it? 30 love.
A little gaudy. 902. It's quite a lifetime record. Chris's second double fault. This is a key point for Evert. Sabatini's going to try to attack and get things back on her terms.
Excellent slice backhand off the two-handed side of Chris Evert at a very sharp angle. Provoked that mistake from Sabatini. They had a cross-court forehand exchange going here, and Sabatini goes down the line beforehand. Look at the angle on the two-handed slice from Chris. Pulls Sabatini out of the alley.
I wonder, thinking back, if Sabatini wishes she had been more aggressive. Chris had just come off a double fault. I don't think she should have tried to play a long rally with her.
Game point. Some mistakes from Sabatini now, and Evert, for the first time in a long time, has her nose out in front in a set. 5-4. She lost the first 6-1. In the last segment, haven't they? Evert breaks back, holds on, is ahead now for the first time in this match. And Sabatini will serve to stay in the second set. There's Angel Jimenez from Spain. He is Gabriela Sabatini's coach. And I guess people have complained that he was trying to give her some advice from the side of the court.
The other day he was making some pretty wild hand signals and such.
Very short and a slight mishit. Angel Jimenez, her coach, likes it. And it's 15-all in this very important 10th game, second set.
Sabatini coming up with a marvelous lob there that really got her back into that point before she eventually ended it with a cross-court forehand winner. Great lob off her backhand side. Sabatini with a quick pickup, almost a half volley drive there off a very good, deep, hard approach shot from Evert.
Boy, Jimenez is looking pretty alert, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's not doing anything that he shouldn't do. We're keeping an eye on him for you.
Actually, when Sukova was told that Jimenez was offering some coaching, she didn't seem to mind, and she had just lost to Sabatini. It seems to be more accepted in Europe than it is here. It is totally illegal. For the most part, Sabatini says, though, that basically he just shakes his fist and says, "Vamos, let's go."
Evert backed off. That was the third consecutive point she'd come to the net. She played that lob very safely. Took it on the bounce, which was very wise. Would have been hard to hit it in the air. Take a look at her. She stabbed the forehand volley down the line. Good lob from Sabatini. Chris lets it bounce just behind the service line, angles it inside out for the winner.
30-all. The memory of the great days of Chris Evert. And she still has plenty of them, and her mystique have got to be a factor with the younger Gabriela Sabatini, don't they, at this point? Because she knows that if she's going to win this set, she's going to have to earn it. Chris is not going to give it to her.
Chris, with the wind at her back now, is taking the offensive at just the right moment. She did it there. It was a very safe, long rally from both players. Lots of moonballs, but as soon as she saw an opening, she nailed the forehand down the line. Sabatini had the lob short, and the point was won.
Point, please.
Set point.
Sabatini made a surprise move on that set point by serving and volleying, but she really didn't rattle Evert by doing so. He made a good return and followed up with a good passing shot off the forehand side when Sabatini tried to drop volley. Now keep in mind, as you look at this three-set match record, that in matches between Evert and Sabatini, she has never lost a three-setter to Gabriela. Gabriela's 2 wins over Evert were both in straight sets a year ago.
Who would have believed it?
Quiet, please.
Halfway through the second set with Sabatini in control. A
Quiet, please.
first set in hand, a breaker serve in hand, and the opportunity to go up a second breaker serve, and Evert has come all the way back to level this at 1 set apiece. First game,
Quiet,
third set.
please.
Sabatini has produced 2 excellent forehand passing shots to open this third set. Chris played a backhand volley from a jam position, and then Gabriela nails it cross court with the topspin.
I think it's a mistake for Evert to come in too quickly, because Sabatini is an outstanding passing shot artist. If you come in, you've got to be very careful and do it behind only the best approach. Sabatini lives on Key Biscayne, or spends a lot of time here. She's from Argentina, also spends a lot of time in Buenos Aires. She has a lot of friends around here. Miami, a very cosmopolitan city. So many South Americans live here, so she has a lot of support. But as you can hear, the crowd really want Evert to win this match.
I think they wanted her to win the second set. I think the third set will be decided fan-wise. It's really amazing that after a set and a half, these two players, it seems as though at the same moment they both said to themselves, I wonder what it feels like to play like my opponent. Gabriela started making all kinds of errors, and Chris's game totally tightened up.
Terrific point from Sabatini, and she has break point in the first game of the third set.
And Chris made two phenomenal gets in this point, but Gabriela persistently keeping her on the run. The slice back in desperation from Evert. Then Sabatini with an angle cross-court back-in winner.
After that great comeback in the second set that Evert won, Sabatini has a break in the first game of the third. And to Evert, let's take a look at the second set statistics, Steve.
I have to crawl with the unforced error category. I think Mary does too. 8 for Evert, 7 to Sabatini. Very highly questionable statistic
That's all
there.
wrong. That's
but
all
look
wrong.
at the difference in the first serve percentage, almost 30%. That certainly helped Chris to get that many cracks at second serves.
The biggest statistic, of course, is the number of breaks of serve. Sabatini got 2. I should say Evert broke twice. And that's how she won the second set. But she trails 1 game to love in the third. Yvonne Lendl is the winner of the Lipton International for this year under the most tragic and appalling circumstances. Last night, Thomas Muster was involved in a car accident, had a knee operation. This morning, exploratory surgery. He will be on his way back to Austria tomorrow for more complicated knee surgery, and they say that he will be out for 9 months to a year.
Excellent low backhand volley from Evert off the Gabriela's slice backhand, which I thought might force an error. Both players playing at a pretty high level at this stage of the match, early in the third set.
In place of the final tomorrow, as a result, Yvonne Lendl will play Jakob Hlasek in a charity exhibition match here for the fans.
Hlasek knows what it means to come back from a tough car accident. He did it last spring and ended the year, 1988, ranked 8 in the world. We all hope Muster can do the same.
They will play the best 2 out of 3 set exhibition match, and they will start at 4 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow, and you can see it, that Lendl Hlasek match here on ESPN. Also tomorrow to be able to show you some of the Thomas Muster-Yannick Noah semi-final match that was played last night, and boy, what a semi-final that was. Muster, from 2 sets to love down, came back and beat the 5-set artist Yannick Noah, #1 player from France, in 5 sets. 40-15.
Outright winner into the wind from Evert. On the cross-court forehand, she just hit that one as hard as she possibly could. Took a chance.